Okay, hi everybody, welcome back. And if you're new at watching my videos, my name is Jasmine, obviously. And I'm going to be doing a story time today of toxic situations, I guess, my experience that happened to me in ex relationship that I had. So if you want to watch that, just continue watching. That everything's fine. I know the last video the audio was off because of the fan. I turned off my fan, but these lights, like, you guys are gonna probably see me start sweating. Anyways, I don't want to make this story time long. I don't want to drag it on. So, and also when I was thinking about what story should I do next, I actually decided that I'm just gonna I guess leave examples of situations that I encountered in my ex relationship. And the reason being is because I feel like a lot of times it's not necessarily like the big events, it's a lot of like the little events that at the time, if you've been in a abusive or toxic relationship, you would probably agree that it's the little stuff that when you're in that moment you think it's normal, but now that you're out or other people view it like it's not normal. You know what I mean? So let me get into it, and I hope I didn't confuse anybody. I do plan on making like different parts of this, so this is just gonna be part one because I'm just starting. So like I said, I'm not gonna make it long. One example that I want to give is that when I was in my ex relationship, there was the good and then there was the bad, right? But it felt like the bad was really, really bad. So if you guys had been following my old story times, you guys would probably guess now that I was with somebody that would constantly cheat and also was super insecure. And I don't know what type of, again, I'm not a psychologist or anything, so I don't know what type of mental, I guess, disease or mental state that this person was in. But he was always getting these crazy, outrageous thoughts that would turn very aggressive, violent, just like scary. It felt like he was like the devil was in his thoughts. Like, it was the craziest shit. So again, okay, so the first little example that I want to give is I felt that I was being watched like a hawk. And I was. Now that I look back, like, I really was. Like, I was a prisoner. It was so crazy, you guys, that like there was a point where I even started like questioning myself. I was like, oh my God, like, am I doing something wrong? Like, oh my, like it was crazy. And I don't know how to explain it. Like, for example, I remember one time, this is where I feel like I mean, there was a lot of red flags, but whatever. So one day when I was driving home from college, this is before I had my daughter. I'm sorry, I was driving to his house after college because I would usually always, we were, you know, always together and stuff. So I would drive to his house once I was done with college, because at the time I wasn't working or anything. I would just go to school. I was a full-time student, and then after that, you know, I would just hang out with him or sometimes my friends, you know. So anyways, I remember this particular time I was driving to his house and I pull into the neighborhood and I take out my phone because I was so used to him looking through my phone like the FBI, you guys. So he would constantly look at my messages, my phone, my, you know, who I called, my social medias, everything. Like, it came to a point where it was like normal. Like, if he was my fucking dad, you know. And like, now that I look back at it, I'm like, dude, like, what? You know, like, you didn't even pay for my bill, but whatever. So it just became like a regular routine for me. Like, it was weird. So anyways, I remember this one specific time that I obviously knew when I got to his house, I had to hand my phone over because he was gonna look through it. So I remember I kind of pulled over to the side on the side of the street in his neighborhood before I got to his house, and I pulled out my phone and I started looking through all my messages and my phone and my social media, like oh my gosh, okay, what do I have to erase? And then like it was weird because in that moment, like something clicked in my head and was like, Jasmine, what are you talking about? Like, you're not doing anything wrong. Like, there's nothing to hide. But like, it was so crazy because like right before that, when I was searching through my phone, I was going crazy. Like, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Like, I let his behavior affect me, that I started even questioning myself, like, damn, am I doing something wrong? Am I cheating? Even though damn well I knew that I wasn't talking to any other guy. I knew I wasn't cheating. I knew I wasn't doing anything. But his behavior made me question myself and my loyalty. It was like the weirdest shit. I don't know how to explain it. But it was like for those 5 minutes that I was going through my phone crazy, in my mind was playing tricks on me, saying like, dude, you better find messages and phone calls or whatever and start deleting shit. And anyways, after those 5 minutes, I didn't find anything. And that's when I told myself, I was like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Like this isn't right, you know? And I remember I brought it to the attention, and I didn't tell him that, what had popped up in my head, you know, but I told him, I was like, hey, you know, like, I don't think it's cool that you're going through my phone and blah, 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 and this and that. And then he would always refer back to a situation, which at the time I let it slide as an excuse, but this excuse led on for years because this is the only excuse he had. Let me tell you guys. So right before that, a few months before that, again, I had a really good friend of mine. We went to high school together and we went to college together, and he just so happened to be in some of my classes, and he was gay. So, and that's gonna fall into this the story. But anyway, so me and him, we were like this, dude. Like, he was like my really good friend. And so, you know, like, we would talk about like boys and, you know, well, before I was in a relationship, you know, stuff like that. Or I used to tell him my problems. Like, he was just my friend. And with that being said, I would text him and communicate with him. Like, we would like joke around, not like weird like stuff like that, you know. But I remember one time I had gone into college, to my school, and I texted him. I was like, hey, where are you at, or whatever, like, so we could meet up, because sometimes we would meet up, we'll get coffee or we'll get something to eat before our class, you know, because like I said, we were like really good friends. And I texted him. I was like, hey, so where are you at? And then he said something like funny, like being sarcastic, like, oh, you stood me up, or oh, I see how it is, like, you only hit me up like if I'm your booty call or something like that. And then I texted him back and I was like, oh, you know, I'm always you're always my booty call, or something like that. But it was, we were joking. And again, like, you know, he liked men. I obviously was in a relationship with a man, so we were just joking. Like, we didn't ever do anything weird with each other, like, you know what I mean? So one of those times, like I said, my ex had grabbed my phone and he saw those messages, and oh my god, you guys, it was like hell broke loose. He was like, who is this? And I was like, dude, this is, you know, and I started telling him, I was like, this is so and so, like we went to high school together, like, you know who I'm talking about, like, don't act dumb, you know. I was like, we're just friends like that, like, we were just joking around, like, we're just playing around, like, I didn't mean it in that way, you know. And I was apologizing up and down. Now that I look back, obviously things would have been different, of course. I see nothing wrong with like me playing around with my friend like that. Now that I look back at it, you know, it's like it was innocent, like, we never did anything, like, we're just joking around, like, what the fuck, you know. So and I remember he was like, no, F the him and this and that. He's like, I don't believe that he's, you know, he was gay. And then I was like, dude, he is. Like, you could ask him. Remember, at this point, I was so like in love with this guy, and like I didn't want him to break up with me, and I just wanted him to believe me and be with me. And he found out where my friend worked, and he went to his job and basically asked him if he was gay. And I feel so uncomfortable saying that because it's so wrong. Now that I look back, it is so wrong for somebody to ask somebody else that question. Like a stranger, you know what I mean? Like, he wasn't a stranger, like he knew who he was, but like they weren't friends, you know what I mean? Like, he was my friend. So for my ex to go to my friend's job and to ask him that question, I felt like, now that I look back, it was so uncalled for, and I should have sticked up for my friend. And I think I was a bad friend in that situation, and just broken up with my ex when that happened. But I didn't. And I did end up apologizing to my friend on behalf of my ex. I was like, dude, I'm so sorry. I didn't know he was gonna do that. And I was like, that like our friendship goes like, years back, since high school. Like, I love you like my friend, like you are my friend, blah, like we were, I felt so embarrassed and so bad. I started apologizing to my friend. But I feel like I should have done more. But I didn't, I stayed with my ex. So anyways, ever since that incident happened, he just wouldn't let it go for a while. Like, he would always use that excuse, like, to look through my phone, and even though he did worse things than that, like, he actually cheated multiple times. But anyways, so that was like, I guess that was like 2 little examples in already. So let me fast forward from that incident. Mind you, this was when I was still in community college, so I was pretty young. I was like 19, 20 at the time. I want to say around 19, 20, around that age. Okay, so fast forward, I'm already graduated community college. I think I hadn't even gone already to ASU, and then this is when I had like taken a break. Anyways, I needed to get a job, I felt like. So I found a really like a good, decent paying job. It was a little far from my house. Not that that matters. I was happy to get a job. I already had my daughter. And at the time, we were like broken up, but we weren't broken. Dude, like, we were like in an off and on relationship like the whole time. Like, that's how you know it's toxic, dude. I'm sorry, but if you are in an off and on relationship, girl, I'm just trying to be like fucking honest with you. Like, no matter how bad you want it to work out, it's not. And no matter how much you love this person, it's probably best that you walk away. Do not marry this person. Because trust me, you're just going to be living in hell for the rest of your life. I learned the hard way. And I guess in a sense, like everybody, I feel like, a lot of people, I guess, need to learn the hard way. So anyways, fast forward, I got this job. And again, he was very insecure about it because he wouldn't tell me directly, but I would very much sense it, where he didn't want me to work, like be financially stable, but then he would turn around and talk shit how lazy I was because I didn't have a job. But then if I had a job, I was a bad mom because I didn't have enough time to spend with my daughter. You get what I'm trying to say? Very manipulative. Like, either way, it was going to be a lose for me with him. Okay, so anyways, I finally found a job, right? So, super excited, and I tell him like what my job is. So this place was like in a big building, right? So it has like 6, 7, 8 stories tall. And you know how in a big office building like that, how like you know, like different businesses rent out different spaces, or, you know, like a business might rent out the first floor, and then another business might rent out like the second floor, etc. You know, it's not just all the same company, the same building, right? So it's like different companies, different buildings. You get what I'm trying to say. Anyways, I happened to work at the very top floor, right, at the 8th floor. And it was the company I was working for at the time rented out the entire floor. And it was obviously a mix of boys and girls. Well, guess what? He was unhappy because there was guys working there. And a lot of them were so happened to be like around my age, because they were looking for that. I'm trying to say it without trying to say what I worked for, because I don't even want to get into that. But basically they hired a lot of people around my age, basically like millennials. Okay, so there was a lot of there was a few older people, but it was mainly like younger people at the time, you know. So anyways, of course, like, you know, and I was so excited because I found this new job and I liked it. But of course, my ex was super fucking insecure, and he hated it because I was working with other guys that were around my age. And I was like, I don't even talk to anybody. Mind you, I've said this before multiple times, like, I'm very, very awkward and shy. Like, if you, like, in real life, if I don't know you, like, I'm like the weirdest person. Like, I'm just there like, hi. So I would eat lunch by myself. Like, I think I had like one friend there, and like she was a girl. The only reason why she was my friend was because she sat next to me, and like she started talking to me first, you know. So like me and her would like take lunch together sometimes. But if not, like I was like a little loner, you know, like that's just me. So I would tell him, I was like, dude, you act like if I talk to every guy, but like I don't. Like I literally just talked to that one girl, and I told him, I was like, this is the only girl I talk to and no one else. I'm not friends with anybody else, like no other guys. Like, what are you talking about? Like, you know what I mean? And he wouldn't take no for an answer. And he kept on saying like, no, you're over there like being a whore, and why didn't you text me back? Like, if I took like 5 minutes later to text him back, like, oh my gosh, I was doing the dirty with like one of my coworker guys, like in the bathroom. Like, that's what he would think, right? And it was just like a living hell. And like needless to say, I only stayed at that job for like less than 4 months. I really enjoyed it, but you know, dealing with him. So one day I was like, hey, I have to go to work. And it just, in the weekends, you know how like when you're new and you're working for a company that's open like 24/7, you're obviously gonna get the shittier schedules. You're not gonna get like Monday through Friday, like 6 to 5, you know, like they're gonna put you like wherever you're needed, bitch. And if you know like work ethics, that you need to like start grinding and bust your ass and take whatever shift is open, you know. So that was me. That's how I was taught to do. So of course I was like, yes, dude, like I'll work second shift. And you know, they had me working on the weekends. So I was like, okay, you know, like this is just until I move up, you know, till I'm here for, you know, a year or whatever, then I'm gonna move up. So anyways, I told them, I was like, hey, I have to go to work, you know, because you know how you go training first and then your actual schedule started. So I had just graduated the training part, and now I told them, I was like, hey, you know, my schedule's gonna change because I was just training. So now I'm actually gonna be, you know, working and like my schedule, and I have to work on the weekend. And he didn't believe me. He Googled the facility where I worked at, and he's like, you're lying as B and this and that. He was like, it was not. He's like, it says right here on Google that it's closed and they're only open Monday through Friday, like 8 to 5 and this and that. And I was trying to explain to him, like, dude, that's the facility. Like, there's different offices and different companies that rent out, you know what I mean? Like these places, like these offices that are in the facility. I was like, where I work in the top floor, they're open 24/7. You know what I mean? Like they're not gonna the offices downstairs might be closed on the weekend, you know. He would not let me go to work, and I was like, no dude, I need this money, like I need this job, you know, like I'm gonna go to work. So all pissed off, and again, I was very desperate at the time for a job because we weren't in good in good places. Like we were kind of like in the broken up but still like together like stage, you know. So anyways, I left the baby with him. I don't know, I can't remember why I couldn't leave her with my mom or anything like that, because I would have of course felt a lot safer with the baby being with my mom or my aunt. But anyways, for whatever reason, the baby stayed with him. And I remember I got in my car and I started driving to my job. And mind you, like we had just had that argument because he didn't believe that my job was open on the weekend. He thought that I was just gonna hoe off with, again, with his whole stories with the co-workers, that I found co-worker guy friends that I was gonna go do the dirty with, and I was seeing somebody else and blah 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 blah, right? So that's where his mind was at, that I was gonna go cheat on him with and now that I look back, like we weren't even like it was like a stage where we had like broken up but still like trying to, I don't know dude, like it was weird. Anyways, it's like he wanted me to stay loyal to him, but it was okay for him not to stay loyal to me, you know, type of thing. But anyways, so right, I'm driving to work, and like a mile out, I look behind me, and guess who I see? I see my ex-boyfriend's car behind me. Like, what an idiot. Like I could see that you're following me, dude, you fucking dumbass. Like, you know what I mean? Like I was driving and like you're back behind me. But then he tried to be like all sneaky, because like then we got into Phoenix. You know how Phoenix and Glendale area like it's like more crowded, so there's more cars. So he was like trying to, like, he wouldn't go directly behind me. Like he would like let a car go in front, like in behind me, and then he would go behind the car. He would be like diagonal, like over here in a car right here. And then like I knew, you know, so like I kept my eye on him. I was like, dude, like I could see you, you know, like I'm not stupid. And then I would like try to slow down or like so I could be like next to him or have him pass me, but he would always like slow down. So like would be going like 25, but cars would be honking. Like, dude, I had to keep going, and I had to go to work because I was already kind of running late because of the argument and all this. So I was like, dude, I don't have time to be playing with your stupid ass games right now. I have to go to work. And anyway, so then I knew that he was following me, but I ignored it, and I knew he had my baby in the car. And you know, it did kind of, at the time, I remember I was kind of what's the word, concerned, because my baby was there and he was in his crazy thoughts, and I'm not sure like how crazy he was at the moment, but the fact is that he had my daughter, you know what I mean? So I wasn't sure, like, was he gonna be so pissed off that he was gonna like crash purposely into me or to somebody else that he thought that I was like seeing or something, you know? So anyways, I get to my job and I park, and of course like I could see him like pull up like in the parking lot, but like on the street right before the parking lot. And but again, I could see him, like it's so fucking obvious, but he was trying to be sneaky about it, but like I could tell it was him. Again, like I didn't have time to go up to his car and fight with him or anything like that. I had to go to work. I had to go in, clock in, and go to work. I love you too. So anyway, so then I go to work, and when I get off of work, I go, you know, back to his house to pick up my daughter. And I told him, I was like, dude, like, you were following me. He's like, no, I wasn't. Like, I like, come on, like, you weren't sneaky at all. Like, I could tell, like, you were trying to be sneaky, but like I could tell that you were following me. Like you're not that good, you know, as trying to be like all detective and undercover, you know, like, dude, like I could tell it was you. And he was like, fine. And he's like, yeah, fine, I was following you because I wanted to see if you were lying to me, or if you were gonna go meet up with one of your coworkers and blah 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 blah. I was like, okay, like whatever, you know. And he wanted to make sure that I was actually going to work and not meeting up with somebody. But even though he's seen that I parked and I got off and I went into work, he still didn't believe me. He thought that I was just getting to work and meeting up with some other dude, getting in his car, and he just magically didn't see that. And me and this random ghost dude like went off somewhere and had a whole date for 8 hours. Like, I don't know where he got all these thoughts and ideas from, but even if he's seen me get off and go inside the building and everything, he still didn't trust or believe me. He still thought that I was in there just making it seem like if I was going to work, but I really wasn't. Again, I don't know. But I said I was going to make the story time short, but it's getting pretty long. Sorry. So I'm getting to the end. So again, so we're arguing, and I was like, dude, like, you see me walk in, like I went to work, like blah 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 blah. And then something happened where I don't know how it happened, but he like pulled out his phone, and I seen like he like swiped like that, and I was like, wait. And then like I like swiped it back, and he had photos, you guys, of like a car that was parked next to me. He took a picture of their license plate. He took a picture of like the inside of their car, like the outside of their car. He took a picture of like my car next to their car. And till this day, I don't know whose car that was. But when I questioned him about it, like, dude, why are you taking pictures of like some random ass car in my job that I parked next to him? And then he was just like, he's like, because I know you. He's like, I know that that's the guy that you're seeing and blah, 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 blah. That's probably the dude's car and this and that. So he thought that I parked next to that car purposely because that was the guy's car that I was seeing. I don't know. It makes no sense. And I told him the parking lot was full. I was already running late because I was running late to get to work because we were in the argument earlier. I was trying to explain to him, where do you want me to park, dude? You know what I mean? I don't know whose car that is. Where do you want me to park? Okay, I found an open spot right there in the parking lot. It's a parking lot where if you find an open spot, you go ahead and park there. That's what I did. I parked there. But he still wouldn't take that for an answer. He didn't believe me. He was like, well, why did you have to park there? Where do you want me to park my car? Like, it's practically full, the parking lot, and I don't even know whose car that is. And again, he thought I was lying, that I wasn't telling the truth, because I knew whose car that was, and I'm just not. That he was going to come to the bottom of it, and he was going to look up their license plate, and he was going to blow up their car and go to their house, and I don't know what, like these crazy ass things. And I was like, I literally don't know whose car that belongs to. Like, and I'm being honest with you guys, I have no idea to this day whose car that belonged to. And I just parked beside that car because there was an open spot right there. Like, you know, I didn't do it because, oh yeah, like this is like the guy that I like let me park next to him, you know. No, like I literally don't know whose car that was. I just fucking parked there because it was an open, I didn't see nothing wrong with it. Apparently he saw everything wrong with it, and that car was, again, the ghost guy and his imaginary crazy mind person that I was seeing. But yeah, you guys, that was basically it. And of course my dumbass still stayed with him. We got into the argument, and like I said, I only lasted there at that job not a few months. You know, it just goes to show how manipulative toxic relationships could be, and how you don't realize that you're in a toxic environment or relationship until you're way deep into it. So that's basically it with that story time. I know I kind of cut it dry. Well, we got into, we were just going back and forth, the argument, and it basically just, the next day, because this is how it would happen. Like, we would fight, and then the next day he would wake up like a switch in his mind. I don't know what he had. I don't know if it was bipolar. I'm not sure what he had, but it was like a switch in his mind, and he was like all happy again. So that's basically what happened. He didn't, from my knowledge, he didn't blow up anybody's car. I don't know if he did anything like slash the person's tires. I don't know. He never said anything. So, and I didn't hear any complaints or rumors at work. So I'm assuming that no, he didn't do anything to that person's car. I don't know if he did any more investigation. But basically, yeah, like, that's it. All right, so that's it, you guys. So this is part 1 of, I don't even know what to call it, because I've been doing like toxic story times, so I don't even know what to call this, like examples, because I have like more examples, but they're not quite story times, but they're just examples, like shorter story times, anyways. I'm not sure exactly what to call them, but if you guys stayed through, thank you guys for watching. I hope that you guys enjoyed it, and I hope that I could give positive advice, and just with my personal experience that I went through. I appreciate everybody watching. You guys could shop my makeup brand, Only Jasmine Cosmetics. I'll leave the link down below. Check out my makeup videos on Facebook. Follow me on Snapchat for my daily content, day-to-day stuff. I'm pretty active on there. So yeah, bye, you guys.